of support. So Wednesday is a support day for all of your courses. It technically says that math support is only from 10 to 11 o'clock, but I actually schedule time slots for you. I don't feel like that's enough time to be able to help you guys one-on-one. So I actually schedule a lot more one-on-one sessions throughout the day, not just that 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock time. So if you don't need to go get help in another class, you can have a little bit more flexibility about when you show up to come see me. And the way that you do that is you go down here on our stream to where it says use this link to sign up for an appointment for one-on-one help. So you go to this link and you'll see that there are little rectangles for all of the appointments that I have available. So you choose the appointment that works for you. You just click on it and click save, and that books that appointment with me. And then the way that you get to that appointment when it's time for us to meet on Wednesday, you can either go to your Drive or you can go to Google Classroom, any place that has a waffle by it. So you would go, sorry, hang on, it's being a little slow. So any place you have a waffle that you can click on the little waffle at the top right, and go to your calendar. And then on your Google Calendar, you'll see the reservation that you made with me. So you can just click on that reservation. So you'll just click on the reservation that you make with me, and the link to the Google Meet will be right there in the reservation. So if you like double click on it, the link that you need will be right there. So if you have any questions, especially those of you guys who I know, are new, I also have a phone number that you can always reach me at. And that number you'll find is right here at the top of the Google Classroom stream. If you ever have any issues with getting into the class, or you're supposed to meet me but you're not sure how to get to that meeting, I know that you guys have a lot to remember and a lot to keep up with. So I have this text message that you can contact me at that link or at that number. You can text me and I'll help you figure out, either how to get into the meeting or whatever it is that your issue is. So if you have any urgent questions, that's the way to get a hold of me. Normally, just add a comment or send me to an assignment or send me an email. But if it's something that's an emergency, so again, something like class is starting and for some reason you can't get in, something like that, that's what that text message is for, so that you can get a hold of me really quickly. So we're going to spend, now that we've talked about what we are, how you can get some extra help and announcements, let's talk about what we're going to work on for the next week. So we've been doing lots with statistics, mean, median, mode, range, quartiles, box plots, all of that stuff. And now we're going to actually apply it to real life. Right now, especially in our community, there's a lot happening, right? Because a lot of people would argue, myself included, that there are certain parts of our community that don't necessarily receive as much support as others. And so, that's really leading to what I hope is going to be some pretty dramatic change here in our community. And I wanted to, and then also, you guys that are taking civics, know that you've been talking about identity and about how where you're from contributes a lot to your identity. So we are going to use some statistics, all the different statistics topics that we've been learning about, to analyze data from various parts of our community. And this is going to be part of a project that'll be kind of ongoing for a while. And let me show you how to get there. This is going to be a really good artifact for your backpack when you're a senior. I know it seems like that's a really long way away. It's really not that long, guys. That you all are going to need to have some artifacts for your defensive learning. And so this is going to be a really good artifact for you. So you're going to go under the this week, September the 21st to the 25th. And there is a set of slides for each of you right here that you're going to use for this project. And then you'll notice right above it, I've provided video directions. So I feel like it kind of makes sense. I tried to make it user-friendly. So you'll watch the first video, which kind of gives you an introduction to the project and kind of how it works. Then there's going to be directions for how to complete the first part, how to complete the second part, and then the third part. So if you can get through those first couple of sections, you're off to, by the time we have our next class meeting, you're off to a really good start. So in a moment, we're going to kind of break off, and if you, although you don't have to, I'll talk about that in a second. And then you're going to look at those videos, excuse me, and it should pretty much step by step explain to you what to do. So if you decide that you want to work on this project with a partner, what you're going to do, for those of you guys that are new to our class, we do have a tendency to try to do a lot of group work. I believe that it's really important that you get to know each other, and then obviously you learn a lot from communicating with other people too. I mean, the research shows by talking about what you're learning, it really helps it to sink in better and you remember it better. So in order to get to your groups, you go to the classwork tab and you go to right here where it says group link list. So I'm going to give everybody just a second to get there. So if you choose to work on this activity with a partner, you're going to go to second period, small groups, where it says that group link list. You're going to click on it to open it up. And then you're going to see that I have on various slides, I have different last names that are put together in a group. So for example, if your last name is on this slide right here, you're part of group 1. You're not forced. I'm not going to force you to work with a group. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I think it would still be a good idea to go to this link and, at a bare minimum, at least introduce yourself to your peers. This link takes you away from, well, it doesn't take you away from our Google Meet here. It takes you to a separate Microsoft Teams group where you can unmute yourselves and you can chat as a group, or you can just use the chat and you can type. What I would really, really, really love is if you would at least unmute yourself and introduce yourself to your group if you haven't already. But I know this math online stuff is uncomfortable enough as it is. I'm not going to force you to do that if you don't want to. But if you do want to work in a group, find your last name on the appropriate group tag or group slide, and then click on that meeting link, and it'll take you there to meet your group. If there is somebody in a different group that you really, 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 really like working with, I really don't have a problem with you working with somebody different, but what I need you to do is just run it by me in the large group chat for a minute. I just need to make sure the groups are balanced and we're not leaving anybody hanging, if they want to have a partner. So if you're not, if there's a really good friend of yours that you really prefer to work with that's not assigned to the same group, I'm okay with you working with that person instead. Just run it by me over here in the Google Meet chat, and I'll make sure I point you to whichever link you need to go to for a group so that you guys can work together. So the directions are, again, for what exactly it is that you're doing for each part. The directions for the activity are right here above the classwork, so you can see what you need to do. And today and our next class on Thursday are really just going to be kind of help sessions. If you have any questions about the project that your group members or your partner can't answer for you, That's why I'm here. And Ayana and Coach and I are going to be kind of checking to make sure, because there's some math involved. We're going to be checking, because this is a Google activity, so we're going to be able to see what you're doing as you're doing it. So it's going to be a good idea for us to be able to, we're going to be checking up on you, checking your math as you're going, and making sure that you're going in the right direction, because this activity is going to be your first mastery grade. So Ayana and Coach, you'll click on View Assignment, and then we'll be able to see a copy of every kid's Google activity, so that we can go through and like check their work and make sure. And I sent you kind of like a sample of what it should look like, just in case, you know, you have any questions, Ayana and Coach, just text me. But today, while they're just getting started, there probably won't be a ton to check, because they've got to decide what groups they want and all of that. If you decide that you want to work with a group, that's obviously fine. Make sure that each of you guys has your own copy of it when you get finished working on it, though. So let's say that I decide that I'm going to work with Michaela. We need to decide whose slideshow we're going to use, and click Share. And then I'm going to type Michaela's name or email into my slide so that we can both work on it at the same time. So, but you each are going to need to have your own copy, because you're, you know, so that you can both work on it, if that makes sense. And you're going to be uploading this to your backpack later, so you definitely want to have your own copy for that too. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. Again, if you want to work with a group, you're going to find your last name. You're going to go to that slide. You're going to go to the link that is on this slide where your last name is. If you decide that you want to work with somebody else, that is fine. Just run it by me. And Ayana and I today are just going to kind of be here. Ayana, again, probably won't be a ton for you to check today, dear. We'll probably be busier on Thursday. But while you guys are getting started, I'm going to start popping into your little small group chats and looking at your slides as you're working. And I'm going to mute myself, but I will be here the whole rest of the time until 11 o'clock to answer any questions as you guys get started on it. You should feel pretty good about the progress you're making. If you get through all 3 steps today, you should be in pretty good shape. But if not, I mean, you've still got a while. This isn't due until our class meeting on Monday. So I'm here if you need me. Just I'm going to be on mute, and let me know what questions you have. And Mr. Price, since I know you just got here, honey, you guys are working on this activity right here. If we go to classwork, we're working on this Does It Matter Where You Live activity, and the directions for each part of it are right up here in video directions for the activity. And I told them that they can either work with a group or not. So you probably remember how to get to that part. If you decide you want to work with a group, you're going to go right here to that group work list and see what slide your last name is on. And that'll tell you which small group link to go to. But if there's somebody in class that you like really want to work with that's not necessarily in your group, I said that was okay. Just run it by me in the big chat. Okay, so I'm here. You're not going to hear me because I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, but I'm still here answering any questions you need. So you can put it in the chat. You can unmute yourself and ask me. You could text me even if you don't really want to ask the question to the group. And just please let me know how I can support you guys, okay?